of this stuff.
Walking off Air Force One right now, John, landing just moments ago in Orlando.
Yeah, he is about to climb into the beast. We are wondering if the president might say a few words to sort of calm these markets. It doesn't appear that he's going to do that today. Well, no, he's not getting into the presidential limousine right away. In fact, he's walking past it. So perhaps there will be remarks from President Trump. You can hear the crowd that has been invited there to assemble on the tarmac at Orlando Airport, screaming for the president.
The market wants to hear from President Trump. The sooner the better.
He's walking with the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis there, just touching down. He's going to be participating in a roundtable with some of his supporters there in Orlando. Let's see if we can hear the president.
Yeah, in this era when shaking hands is a no-no for many people, the president is not showing any concerns about that at all. He's glad-handing this entire rope line. You can see the woman there in the denim jacket is pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah, I gave Charles the fist pump when he walked in.
Presidential flesh.
Colin McShane earlier gave the elbow. What's the elbow move called, John?
Elbow bump. I don't know. That's what I'm calling it.
But remarkable. Here's the president just touched down, and the Dow selling off 1,600 points. We were interested to see if perhaps he would comment on that market sell-off and the coordination over the coronavirus. Charles?
The markets right now, and for even last week, there's been this anticipation of intervention, both by central banks and by, of course, federal governments, including ours. There have been some ideas that have been tossed out there. I think this week, though, you're going to have to see some sort of concrete action. I know there are going to be some economic purists out there who think we should just ride it out. Again, though, there's an intangible, the psychological aspect of this that the White House is going to have to consider. Also, in an election year, do you want people who who don't have certain insurances not to be able to take time off from work? I mean, there's a lot of considerations here for President Trump, without a doubt. So we are going to get something from the White House. It's unclear to what it will be, but there will be initial steps for them to help buttress the economic impact for the lower, for particularly in those hard-hit areas. Small businesses and things like that.
But there won't be comments from the president, not right now. He just climbed into the presidential limousine.
Yeah. You talk about the economic impact and the ripple effect, though, that those fears have in the market, Charles. And over the weekend, we all probably know somebody at some point who didn't go to a birthday party, they didn't go to the movies, they didn't go shopping, or maybe they did go to the store, but they were stocking up on supplies. So talk about that impact that we are seeing on the U.S. economy.
Well, we don't know it yet. I went to a supermarket yesterday, to a really big supermarket yesterday. There was no panic. It was orderly. They had everything that I was looking for. Probably didn't have hand sanitizer, but I wasn't looking for that. And there wasn't a sense of panic. There were a lot of people out. Of course, it was beautiful weather here yesterday in this region. So everyone's doing their own anecdotal view of this and checking, I guess, region by region. There's two things. There are things that we can postpone, that we can pick up later in the economy. The second quarter is going to be a wild card. We know it's going to get hit. But if you don't do something like buy something, whether it's an iPhone or something like that, you might do it a couple of weeks later or a couple of months later. But then there are things that are canceled, right? And to your point, that can't be made up. A trip on a plane, a trip on a cruise line, those kind of things. So there's going to be some economic impact. Some of the economic impact, though, will be picked up later in the year, third or fourth quarter.
But here's what I was wondering. Maria Bartiromo was, in her excellent way, explaining how the lower price of oil is telling a lot of people that, we've got a slowdown coming. But isn't that drop in the price of oil more about the argument between Saudi Arabia, the sort of love lost between Mohammed bin Salman and Vladimir Putin?
There's a lot of narratives in this oil price, and it began before even this weekend. When we had our